Hello, this video is for people who are on stage 4 of the Focal Dystonia Cure process, just to give you some little extra guidance. It's inspired by a question I was asked recently about stage 4. So the question was somebody who's been working really diligently with the different activations that they've noticed in their lives. They've gotten really good at the zero state, the kindness state. And using that, they're working through these activations. And so the question is, as those activations have come right down, whether in their brain spotting, they should kind of connect with more than one situation that activates them and brain spot them together. So I actually wanted just to take a step back from that. And just say, once you've got so stage 2 and stage 3 are developing stage 2, the zero state, and stage 3, the kindness state, which is this feeling of expansion in the center of your chest. I would actually encourage you to combine the two of them together then. And I do go into a lot more detail of this in my new book, Free to Perform. So the new book really sort of expands out, like puts stage 4 under a magnifying glass. And it gives you this sort of enhanced tool, which would be to combine the zero and the kindness state together into what I call the flow state. Okay, so what you're doing with there is that you first of all feel into the zero state, and then you can do this with your eyes closed. And then once you're really connected into the zero state, you then simultaneously feel into the sense of expansion in the center of your chest that the kindness state creates, and you feel the central space that connects them together. Some people even have this sort of metaphor that comes up for them where the zero state feels like the roots of a plant really deeply grounded. The central space feels like the stem of a plant, and the center of the chest feels like a flower that just blooms and opens and expands outwards. And that expansion runs right up through their throat, their neck, the jaw, and then out across the shoulders and the front of the chest into the shoulder joint, down through the arms and out into the tips of the fingers. And then right up, into the mouth, the face. So, and again, I talk about that in even more detail in the new book if you want to read in and get more details on that. So, but here's the really big thing. Once you're in that state and that feels really, really well developed, you want to check whether you are on the outside looking into that state, or whether you are actually, your identity, your sense of self is right inside that state, having a direct experience of it. And then from there, it's as if you're looking out to the world. Okay. And so once you're able to be like really deep inside the state, looking outwards, one of the things that you look outwards on is how your body feels in that state. And you will notice how expansive, soft, still, rooted, solid, and flexible and fluid all at the same time your body feels. If you've been working really well with the attunement repair exercise, what you will notice is how easy it is for you to really tell the areas that had been sort of constricted in the body in some form or another, the particularly at the muscular or fascia level, how expanded and soft and open they feel here. Then on stage 4, when I'm asking you to observe the areas in your life that are activating for you, in other words, the areas of life where you don't feel as if you are inside of this state, where somehow you're in some other type of state, then it's also really important to be able to notice how your body holds that activation. You'll probably actually start to notice that there are just a few different holding patterns, or even the same holding pattern in your body that goes into almost all of those, or that is created in almost all of those activating circumstances. So for instance, one that might be driving, I notice that when I'm driving, I'm difficult for me to drive and be absolutely deeply inside this flow state, or when I'm socializing, or when I've got, really busy day on at work, whatever it might be. So what you want to start to get with your attunement is to recognize how your body feels different, how your body holds that. Okay. Again, in the new book, I go into a lot of detail on this and talk about these different sort of drivers and gifts that we have, that we can start to see how we've become adapted into them and how that gets held in the body, if that's helpful for you to really get deeply into this stage. Okay. So once you're aware of those holding patterns, what you then want to start to do in stage 4 is not just bring up the activating moments, but actually start to get so familiar with the holding patterns in your body, in your muscles, in your fascia, particularly in the body, and brain spot those. That's when we get really, really deep down into the deep brain. And it's almost like we hold our whole history, our whole chronology of events, of experiences in the brain spotting as we do that. And I found that that's the way to have the greatest leverage then in releasing all of this holding out of the fascia, particularly, and therefore enabling the focal dystonia just to begin to fade away quite naturally. I hope this is really helpful to you. If you do have any questions about it, please put them in the comments below. Thank you.